The Minnesota Department of Public Safety Alcohol and Gambling Enforcement Division spent 2 weeks observing 919 Minnesota restaurants and bars. They looked at 3 issues: employees violating mask requirements, social distancing rules not being followed, and serving to more than 50% capacity. Authorities sent out warning letters to 14 restaurants and bars that they say violated all 3.
It's really important that we do this. And why is it important? This is the only way we're going to get out of this.
Dan Sweeney, owner of Dano's in Anoka, says he's corrected the issues.
We tightened up everything. We've taken precautions to actually stay under capacity, which is 130, so half is 65. Even offer free PPE to any customer that wants it.
But some owners told us they weren't aware of the letter. Brad Slauson of Route 47 Pub and Grub in Fridley disagreed with the state.
We are following all of the guidelines on clean the doors and the windows, the handles, the touch screens, our menus. So if anything, we should be an example of how you're supposed to do it correctly.
When we've worked with the bar owners, we've suggested solutions like canceling some of the large music venues, providing education for masks, unplugging some of the karaoke machines or pool tables.
They're also asking customers to help businesses out. Seating needs to be limited to 4 people or 6 for immediate family. That means no moving tables or seats together. Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
Well, the majority of the violations included employees not wearing masks. DPS says businesses that violated just 1 or 2 of the categories did not receive a warning letter, but they will likely look at those businesses again. Violations could lead to fines, or authorities could suspend or revoke liquor licenses. For a full list of establishments that received a warning, you can go to our website, KARE11.com.